Alright, let's get it. So up next we have the Hologram Iron Man from the Hasbro Marvel Legends Ursa Major Iron Man comic book wave. This one comes packed in with the head of Ursa Major, as we can see here. Here is the side art image, which is pretty cool, just like the other images in the wave. And then here is the back side of the box showing that same image, and then we get the rest of the wave back there. Here's a closer look at that. We got Ursa Major on the left side. We do have a read up on the top right that reads, "Ever the inventor, Tony Stark takes flight in a holographic form, a computer-generated avatar, and an enduring force for good." So this hologram AI Tony Stark Iron Man has been a theme lately for these Iron Man releases, obviously revolving around probably Riri Williams and Ironheart, but we have another holographic or hologram Iron Man figure here. This will be our second one if you count the AI Tony Stark. Now we're only missing a AI Tony Stark in casual clothes, or a full body, suited or non-suited, just regular casual clothes Iron Man or Tony Stark, whatever you want to call it. That's the only thing that's pretty much missing from now. But this figure seemed familiar, and it is familiar because it is actually the Mark 46 MCU Iron Man figure or body mold. So that kind of throws me off a little bit, because this is not meant to be an MCU figure. It's meant to be a comic-based figure, but it is using an MCU body mold. So I don't know. I'm sure this is based off an actual issue from a comic book, but I can almost probably guarantee that it was not using an MCU, armor. So as we know, Mark 46 in the MCU appeared in Civil War. So if you have that figure, then you know what to expect here. He comes packed in as you see him, and he comes with only a pair of fists for his hand accessories right here. And then for his effects, we get the same blue effects that come packed in with our normal Iron Man, our modular Iron Man in this wave. And then last but not least, we get the Ursa Major head sculpt. Probably the most important piece of the Build-A-Figure. Can't have a headless Build-A-Figure. So it looks cool. We'll get him all built together once we complete him. Now let's take a closer look at our hologram Iron Man. So up close and personal with the hologram Iron Man, and you can see the translucent plastic, and that's what's really cool about this figure, is you get to see the inside of an action figure here. For one of the few times that we ever get to see a translucent figure, it's pretty cool to see the insides. You do see all the lines and all the the numbers of the plastic. Some people might not like that, because obviously it gives away the illusion that it's a hologram. But come on, it's a plastic action figure. What there's no way around it. So it's I'm taking it as a cool little thing to look at a figure from within. So it's cool to me. I like it. It's very, very nice. Overall, looks cool. They got the white painted lines, so that's cool. It's not just just translucent plastic. They did paint the lines over the front end, so you can kind of make out some of the lines and details of this armor. So pretty neat. There's your up close shot of, and I did want to try out the AI Tony Stark head on this body, and of course the blues do not match at all. But I guess you can still kind of have it. Maybe he made his armor a different blue than his flesh and his hologram body, or his AI body. I don't know. But there's a look at that in case you were wondering how that looked. And here's what a human head of Tony Stark looks like on a hologram body of his suit, in case you were wondering what that looked like. That actually fits on, nicely. It's not loose or too tight, so the pegs do match up in size. Alright, so if you have the Civil War Iron Man figure, you know what to expect here in terms of articulation. Head's on a ball jointed hinge, goes up and down pretty good. Head tilt a little bit, left and right, pretty good. Arms go all the way around, forward and back. They go in and out about, it's a hard plastic, so about that far. It's very hindered by those shoulder, pads right there. We have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, swivel at the wrist with a hinge, diaphragm joint at the torso, forward and back. Legs will kick forward about that far, which isn't far. If you want to twist it, maybe you get a little bit more range. Going down, in and out about this far. Thigh swivels, double jointed knees. Then we get an ankle hinge that goes forward and back. And then there's an ankle rocker at that foot. And the year on the plastic is 2016, so that's when this figure came out probably. Or not figure, I should say body mold. Now, with that being said, about this figure being an MCU armor, this could kind of work as a, you know, if you want to make a little workshop scene with Tony Stark, you know, working around his hall of armors or his basement or his wherever he works at, you know, with his armors. He always has this high-tech computer, and he's got a hologram of his armors, and he plays around with it. So somebody could probably make a display where this is the hologram projecting from his computer, and we have a human Tony Stark working in his office or in, you know, in his man cave with the hologram projected out in the background. I think that's doable. I'm sure light will, you know, run through this figure very nicely and will emit a glow. So that'd be cool to see. I'm sure somebody will pull that off. Here are the two side by side to start off our comparisons. I put the Mark 46 Iron Man suit next to our hologram Iron Man. As you see, it is the same body mold. You might not be able to tell since this is so translucent and blue, but it is indeed exactly the same. Up next, I'll put him next to the AI Tony Stark from the Mr. Hyde Build-A-Figure wave of Shang-Chi. And then here we have him next to Riri Williams herself, Ironheart. Up next, I'll put him next to Dark Star. And then here we have him next to Ultron. This is the Stealth Iron Man suit. And then lastly, we have him next to the Modular Iron Man, which I think I'm leaning towards being my favorite from the wave. I mean, this whole wave is solid. I really like Ultron, of course. I think it's a tie between him and Ultron. But yeah, man, you know, it's a great figure. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's going to conclude my review on the Hasbro Marvel Legends Hologram Iron Man from the Ursa Major Iron Man wave of figures. There's not much more to say. Unfortunately, I do see a lot of the casuals just probably passing up on this one, and only the comic booky and Iron Man fans grabbing this one. So definitely not the heavy hitter of the wave, but I do think it is a very cool looking figure, especially with all the translucent plastic and the whole idea of it being a hologram version of the suit. I can see some very creative ideas, you know, in terms of photography for this figure. With that said, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below to let me know your thoughts on the figure. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Stay tuned for my final figure review of this wave. And then we got Ursa Major right after. And of course, take care everyone and have a great day. Bye.
That's crispy.